Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
Urban Renewal co-chairs refuse to appear before the Public Accounts Committee. The DPM says reports on an IDB survey have inherent conflicts. The family of a tourist killed in Bimini demands answers from Bahamian authorities. Plus, Ministry of Works employees at it again. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Bonnie Toot and NB12 starts now. Co-chairs of the Urban Renewal Commission, Cynthia Pratt and Algernon Allen, refused to appear before today's Public Accounts Committee hearing, calling that process illegal and inappropriate. This as Committee Chairman Hubert Chipman says he is shocked by their recent comments blasting Auditor General Terrence Bastian's audit into Urban Renewal's small home repairs program. Jasmine Brown reports.
According to Chipman, that meeting was cut short today because the two Urban Renewal co-chairs did not show up, but he says they still will be seeking answers. Both co-chairs sent in a letter addressed to PAC Secretary David Forbes on Wednesday that they would only appear before the committee if the purported audit on urban renewal completed by the Auditor General is tabled in the House of Assembly. They claim that the process engaged in by the committee is inappropriate and illegal. Chipman says they were expecting both Allen and Pratt to attend today's hearing. While Allen missed the hearing, he was present for the morning ceremony to rename Our Lady's School to the Marjorie Davis Institute for Special Education. When asked for an interview, he declined, saying he prefers to address it with Pratt, who he said was currently off the island. But Prime Minister Perry Christie commended Allen for attending this morning's ceremony.
He said he was going to try and make it. And when I saw him walk in, I knew that he was making a special effort because he too was one of your students.
Meantime, Chipman said he was shocked by the unfair personal attack that the chairs of the Urban Renewal Commission launched on Auditor General Terrence Bastian following his report detailing inefficiencies in the small home repairs program.
To be honest with you, I was kind of taken aback and shocked, to be honest with you.
The report revealed that there is a lack of accountability, transparency, and due diligence in the execution of the program, its management, and the quality of work done. Pratt said the report is not fair to the poor or the work the commission is doing. But Chipman, who is also investigating the small homes repairs program, says he believes the Auditor General simply did his job and added that given that this took a year to complete, he also believes Bastian did it thoroughly.
So it took a year for the Auditor General to compile this report. This didn't happen overnight.
The audit covers the period from July 1st, 2012 to September 30th, 2014. Phase 1 of the program began in November 2013. A total of 312 homes were repaired at a cost of $3.2 million, according to the report. Bastian and his team surveyed a total of 75 homes for the audit. Chipman said he supports the Urban Renewal program, but questioned whether money from the public purse is being used judiciously. He said so far in the PAC's investigation, it has also uncovered some matters that are of concern, but he did not go into detail.
We certainly agree with the Urban Renewal program. The question is whether in fact we got value for money, whether it's transparent, and whether they're accountable for it. That's basically the thing. We have nothing against the Urban Renewal program.
Chipman says they still want to question the co-chairs and they plan on holding another meeting later this month. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis has raised questions about what he called an inherently conflicting Nassau Guardian article on an IDB finance survey and said officials have contacted the Inter-American Development Bank to get a full understanding of its survey. According to the report published on Monday, more than 45% of the Bahamians surveyed said they would vote for a candidate or party different from the governing Progressive Liberal Party if an election were held this week. Another 24.5% said they would not vote at all. Davis says while he has not seen the survey, he feels the article was a clear misinterpretation of it.
The headlines and the content of a story and some of the content itself appears to be inherently conflicting to me. And on the face of it, it appears to me that is a clear misinterpretation of those figures.
Davis says he is awaiting the completion of discussions with the IDB on the major survey, which covers 28 nations.
I am not certain that the aim of the report, as described by Candia, is the kind of conduct that you would expect from an international agency. And so I know that efforts have been made and contact has been made with the IDB to get an understanding of what has been put out there in the public domain.
PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts says the results of the survey are good news for Prime Minister Perry Christie. However, former PLP MP Philip Galanis said the results are concerning and reflect buyers' remorse toward the PLP. However, Davis says he's not concerned.
No, the numbers don't concern me because it's an interpretation of those numbers, right? And as I said, I've not seen the numbers, so I'm not able to say whether I should be concerned about it. But I'm satisfied that having read what was written, that I ought not to be concerned about the numbers because of the inherent conflicts.
Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller says he sometimes feels like killing people. Miller, whose son was murdered back in 2002, questioned government's failure to hang convicted murderers and warned it could cost the PLP the next general election. However, not everyone agrees. Simone Davis tells us more.
I go home every night without my son. You know what is going through my head every night?
Yeah.
Don't you know I'd like to kill? Capital punishment must be fully implemented in our country, Mr. Speaker.
Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller pulled no punches on Wednesday as he expressed his frustrations over the government's failure to hang convicted murderers. Miller made the comment in the House of Assembly in the context of talking about his murdered son and the government's inaction as it relates to capital punishment. Miller noted that some people who are accused of murder are killed after they are released on bail. He said some Bahamians have lost faith in the system.
Why do you think people are being killed? Why do you think the guys are now afraid to go out on bail? Because the families can kill them. The friends is going to take their life. We're just human beings, Mr. Speaker. We have feelings.
Miller's son, Mario Miller, was murdered in June 2002. His mutilated body was found in bushes near Super Value Food Store in Winton, just a few minutes' drive from his home. Miller also said the Bahamian people will be very harsh with some members of parliament during the next general election if the government does not carry out the death penalty. Miller has long been a strong advocate of capital punishment. However, Pastor Carlos Reed said there are no statistics that prove capital punishment would actually help to reduce the murder rate in the Bahamas. He suggested that officials should find another solution to stop the carnage.
See, I know that everybody, because of the rise in murders, we looking for solutions. And one of the first things that people call for is capital punishment. But there's no data, there's no statistics saying that capital punishment will be deterrent to crime. While I'd agree with the Bible, which says that if you take somebody's life, yours should be taken, at the same time, we don't want to just rush to find a solution, which is why some of the programs that we do, we feel that it will pay off in the long run.
Reed also said more focus should be on intelligence gathering rather than policing, adding that the Swift Justice program is much needed in order to quickly control crime.
Where we should be is that we make sure that we have swift justice, where if somebody is killed, the law deals with them speedily. Justice delayed is justice denied. And I believe that when we get these people before the court swiftly, we could save a lot of lives. We could bring down the murder rate. And I'm sick and tired of people justifying or calling the crime high in the Bahamas because we have a war going on our streets where a group of people what are hell-bent on killing each other. Murder is not the only crime statistic.
Miller said the state must take a strong stance in the face of the country's crime problem, otherwise politicians are in for a rude awakening on election night. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
The parents of a South Florida woman killed following a boat crash in the Bahamas last May are still searching for answers 11 months after her tragic death. Grieving loved ones placed her ashes on the ocean floor during a memorial service on Wednesday.
Slow justice is no justice.
Nearly a year after 25-year-old Paloma de Maizière died tragically in a boating accident while vacationing with friends in Bimini, her grieving parents say they still have more questions than answers about her shocking death.
We are so frustrated with the Bahamian government that after 11 months, nothing is happening. We don't understand why they don't take action. We don't understand what is going on. And for us, it's such a big loss. She was a human being. She was my daughter. I expect to have respect, and justice for her.
On what would have been Paloma's 26th birthday, her family and friends gathered for an emotional memorial at sea off Miami Beach on Wednesday. A star containing Paloma's ashes was taken to the bottom of the ocean and placed on the Neptune Memorial Reef by divers. It reads, "Fly in heaven, we love you, angel." Paloma's father, Christian de Maizière, says in a desperate attempt at closure, the family visited the Bahamas, but still no answers.
We go to Bimini, we go to Nassau, we send email, we try to find something to remember our daughter and to know what's really happened, and realize that nothing coming on.
The family's attorney, Judd Rosen, says they have taken legal action in a Florida court against the boat driver and hope to determine if he was intoxicated at the time of the crash. However, he says they have received very little information from authorities here in the Bahamas.
The family is very frustrated with the response of the Bahamian authorities and frustrated with the lack of answers in a case that is so clear-cut.
Because you have not gotten any information from the Bahamas, you have started your own litigious track in United States court. Tell us about that.
Our suit is filed in federal court. We're using the United States powers to hold the defendant accountable and also to make him answer some questions about what happened that night.
Officer in charge of the Northern Bahamas, Assistant Commissioner Emric Seymour, told NB12 today all of the files associated with that case have been turned over to the coroner in New Providence. Therefore, the matter is now out of his hands. It's unclear when a coroner's inquest will be held, as calls to coroner Janine Weish Gomez were not returned up to news time. Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson told us she is not familiar with the de Maizière case, but noted steps must be taken to address the time it takes for matters to make it to court.
The delays in all of the courts have to be addressed and are being addressed. I believe that those who work in the coroner's court are working extremely hard. And I would also like us to acknowledge the challenges that are faced by the coroner and any other judge who sits ready to hear a matter, and parties turn up before that judge and ask for adjournments because they're unprepared. And let us not underestimate the extent to which that does occur in the coroner's court and in other courts as well.
As family members celebrate Paloma's life, her father says they will continue to fight, not for themselves, but for her.
She was involved to help kids that have cancer from St. Jude Hospital, to help them to have a prom. And she was so concerned that some of those kids will not make it. She was very, very, very involved to help everybody. And a week after helping them to have a prom, she lost her life.
Anyway, we have to remember now.